Welcome to the Maine-J Show. It's your boy Maine-J, and this is another episode of Maine-Chat. Thank you all for tuning in today. Today I will be talking to you all about a couple of things for a few minutes, quite a few minutes. But I want to talk to you all about videos, comments that are made under the videos, Chief Apostle Dupree, where I stand, and prayerfully this being the last time that I have to address all of this, since I'm still getting emails at the mainjshow@gmail.com. All right, so here we go. Many of y'all know, and I will say this, and I will say this loud and clear for the bald head chick in the back. I will say this loud and clear and say what I mean and mean what I say when I say this. I, Maine-J, I, Jermaine Butts, will always stand by, side by, have the back of victims of sexual assault, molestation, rape, manipulation, anything like that. I will always side with it, and I will always use my platform to speak up about it. I was a victim of it. I don't play with it. I don't joke around with it. It's not something that is funny. It's not something that should be taken lightly. And even statistics show that not even 1% of people that come forward about sexual assault, rape, molestation, only about 1%, not even 1%, lie about it. The other 99% tell the truth about it. So I said what I said, and I meant it, and you can take it and run with it how you want to, but I stand by all victims of sexual assault. Not just Chief Apostle Dupree and his allegations, but your pastor, your presider, your politician, your auntie, your uncle, whoever has done it, and people come forth about it, and they're trying to be healed, and they're trying to get it off their chest. I will side by them, and you will always have a voice here on the Maine-J Show. All right. So now let's address a lot of the comments, stuff that was said under the Apostle Dupree's videos, other videos, and even stuff that was said about my late bishop, the late great Bishop Nathaniel Bragg. So here's the thing. A lot of y'all make comments about the video about him being on Jacked, sexual apps, the video about him talk about the type of woman he like. Y'all can say what y'all want. I'm not going to really deal with all of that. Unless it's something extremely disrespectful or rude, then I might say, y'all got to chill. But everyone has the freedom of speech. People comment on all types of YouTube videos and videos all day, every day. I do read them all. And 99% of the time, I respond to all of the comments, except for extremely negative, disrespectful ones. What I won't respond to and what I will delete is, when y'all are watching these videos and y'all are talking about people in the audience and y'all saying, well, look at 0.215, or, what about at 7? That's another wolf of sheep clothing, or he's another one, or isn't he gay, or isn't he married, but isn't he, stuff like that about people and their sexual preferences and sexual desires. I will delete you. I'm not answering questions about that. So stop asking me about those questions about people in Solid Rock and their sexual preferences and do they get down or not. You want to know if they get down or what sexual preference they are, or what, then find out what their names are and find them on Facebook, Instagram, Snap, or whatever, and hit them up and holler at them. Get to know for yourself, but I'm not answering those type of questions. Now, there's two people that I want to address. One I'm not going to say the name of because I don't want to make it hot and really blow up a spot. But if they keep on doing what they will, I will come back and do another video, even though I said this is the last one, and I will say this man's name. One of the people on my videos, the one when I stuck up for the victims, has said, pretty much if you're not involved, you should shut up and mind your business. And I used to talk to that relative of Dupree's. I'm not going to go into details, but trust me, it was some stuff that we did. And when we would talk, he would talk about his uncles. He would talk about his cousin, Dupree, and say that the man is like this and does that. And when he lived up here and even down there. So for you to tell me to shut up and mind my business, that's fine. I can mind my business about certain things, but I'm not going to mind my business when it comes to sticking up for people with sexual assault. That's the only aspect that I came from it with, was that. You know what I'm saying? But, let's not act like you wasn't talking about your own cousin behind his back. So if y'all want to search the comments and see which cousin I'm talking about, because his name is Rhett. He actually used his name on Facebook and on YouTube rather about it. So I will address that. There is another one of his members that I want to address. She goes by Mind Yours on YouTube, but her real name is Nene. Okay? I will address you because you're sitting there trying to bring my late bishop into stuff when you wasn't saying nothing about my late bishop when you was coming there all those Sundays, okay, about to join the church. Talk about, oh, well, you need to worry about your own bishop and why y'all was having gay services. Let me clear up this rumor once and for all, y'all. My church has never had no gay services, no gay church services. What we did have was some workshops. And we did bring in people from that LGBTQ plus community. Yes, we did. The reason being, when my late bishop was alive, is because he believes that we are going to be a church that services and treats, and that's inclusive of all people. And we want to make sure that we're addressing every issue in every community. All churches should be doing that. If your church don't have a food pantry and somebody comes to your church and is hungry, you should have a resource to say, okay, before you leave, here's where you need to go and you can have some food. People come in with drug addiction, alcohol addiction. Your church may not have an AA or a drug A or whatever the case may be, but you don't want them leaving in one way and coming out the same way. So here's some resources to utilize once you leave this church. Same thing. Our churches are full with gays, lesbians, bisexuals, trans, queer people. How can we better serve them besides just preaching to them and giving them a good word and giving them a good shout? So yes, we had something to learn all the lingo, terms, what we can do to help the LGBT community and not be against them. And that way, when they come in our churches, we are more embracive and we're not more standoffish and we're not doing like other churches do and just preaching down at them and kicking them out and you're nasty and you're gay and all this other stuff. What can we do to make sure that when we're preaching to them, that we're preaching effectively? So yes, we had workshops, but we never had a service that says this is a gay service. Come to this church for the gay service. So stop that, Nene, and stay off my comments. And stay off the videos if you're gonna keep on commenting and talk about my late bishop and disrespecting him. Don't try to deflect because your apostle's in the hot seat, allegedly. Okay, so I wanted to shut those comments down. Like I said, anything else I will always respond to unless it's not messy. Now, I do want to address the cousin. Okay? And I will say this when it comes to staying out of it and minding my business. I'm going to say it. There was some recruiting. There were some people that were trying to recruit, and they weren't trying to recruit my soul. They were trying to snatch my soul and recruit my body. Okay? One person really, really liked me in that organization. Like I said, there's a lot of fine people in that organization. A lot of the victims that came forward are very handsome, very attractive. But there was one person who was really after me. I wasn't after them. Not one bit. But, at the time, when this person was talking to me and telling me to come down and I can stay at that house and this is what happens and this is what goes on and da-da-da-da. And I was told some stuff. And this person is known for having a big mouth. Y'all probably know what I'm talking about. Can't hold no water. But you know how sometimes you're mad at your pastor, mad at your organization, mad at your church. And I always had said that if I ever left my organization and left my church, it would be Solid Rock. It would be that. And at that time, I was looking for a new church, a new organization. I'm gonna keep it real. I was upset and I was gonna leave the wrong way. And they was like, you can come down and stay down here for a few weeks until you get yourself together. You can stay in the house and da 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 da. And my apostle knows about me and he knows about all of us and what we do and da 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 da. He just says keep your business to yourself and da da da. And sometimes da 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 da. And I'm just like, everything makes sense now that these people have come forward. And I always said that, nah, if I come down there just to ask my questions and have my little spill about it, then I will make my decision, but I will always stay with my family. Anytime I've ever gone to a convention or a convocation, I've always stayed with family. I might have left for a couple of hours and hung out with the people, but staying the night and staying out like that, nope. So I will say to that person, told Michelle, they were trying to recruit me a couple of times. And this particular person said that he was sent through by that person. This is what was told to me. So allegedly, that person was sent through by the person, the topic. So, for you to tell me to be quiet, like I wasn't approached. Nah, buddy. I think you should check, your cousin, you should check your uncle, whoever, about all of that, because it does happen. It does go on. And, the only reason why I didn't join, because once again, allegedly, this was stuff that was going on up here as well. Friends that I knew about, people that was fighting over people with that. It's all brought to me. I never said nothing because that's not my place. It's not my business. Even allegedly with some of my own relatives that this stuff went on with. But I kept my mouth shut because, like I said, stuff like that goes on in all organizations, politicians, and everywhere. It goes on. But I wasn't having it. And anybody to tell me to shut up and be quiet and mind my business when I was involved to an extent, and I try to keep it out and keep it cool and keep it as cordial as possible. Nah, I gotta respond to some of y'all comments and some of y'all disrespect. And lastly, this is from a family perspective. And if my relatives call me and check me and whatever the case may be, they can. But this is for a family perspective, and my family knows how I feel about them. From a family perspective, the only reason why I was still probably going to come and join, because like I said, my family was a part of it. My family respected them. I can ignore if a leader or a bishop or a pastor is gay or they do stuff, because we all have our shortcomings. Even me, I'm dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? We all have our shortcomings. We all have our issues. There's no perfect pastor. There's no perfect man of God. So I was going to overlook it because from what I know, they were all adults. Okay, Dupree, quote unquote, gets down. He's gay. He's messing with adults. He gets horny like the rest. I'm a man. I get horny. He's a man. He gets horny. It happens. He's having sex, whatever the case may be. I'm not going to lie and act like I ain't no virgin. So, some of the stuff that I heard, I'm like, that doesn't bother me. The man's anointed. He's appointed. You know what I'm saying? If he's messing with somebody, okay. I'm going to be the first one. Preach Jesus to me. Preach holiness to me. Help me make sure that I'm living right. Why are you striving to live right? And we'll do this together. But what was the thing that got me? And like I said, this is the last time I'm doing a video on it. Was one of my relatives is a pastor of his. And one of my relatives was an assistant pastor of his. And what I personally didn't like, and this is just me speaking, and from what I saw, even when they were up here, when it comes to like the money and the offering, that's the only reason why I didn't join them. So when allegedly, when they started talking about money embezzlement and different things, the organization, you the headquarters church, and you always bouncing. That was one of my questions. How are you the headquarters and you ain't got no headquarters? Organization that I came from and other organizations, they have a headquarters. They have an actual legit building. Where's all the money going to? But when I seen one of my relatives, I'll even say it, one of my aunts who's a pastor of his, I'm not sure if she still is or not, raised the chief apostle's offering. And if it was short, and like I said, every service they had one. Not just her, but even when they was up here in Boston, every service, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. I'm like, well, they all just having services just to make sure that. But if the offering was short, constantly you'll see her take out the money either from the church offering, out of her own pocket. Come on, y'all. His offering's a little shorter. It's just really, really low. It's really, really short. And every time it was always short. And I'm looking at you like, girl, all your members are your children and grandchildren. Half your children are teenagers with no jobs. All your grandchildren are kids. And it's all relatives up in here, basically. And most of them are teenagers with no jobs. And you probably had like 3 or 4. Like, I was an adult when she was up here. Of course, I was in my mid-20s, early 20s. And you probably had like 3 or 4 members that were actual adults that actually worked, that probably could give some tithes. And I didn't like seeing this particular relative always beg or take money out her pocket to give to that offering every single service. That's just me. That's something that I didn't like seeing my relative. I'm talking about from a relative's perspective. Same thing. The assistant pastor is my first cousin. I love him like a brother. He loves me like a brother. We've never even gotten into no arguments. That's how close we are. And I will fight, I will ride or die for this particular cousin. But this particular cousin was the assistant pastor of the church. And when he was taking over service, sometimes when my aunt was out of town or with her husband or whatever the case may be, doing other things, taking vacation, taking a break. Once again, the apostle's offering is low. Taking money out his pocket. And I didn't like seeing my relatives do that. My thing is, I came from a church where if you didn't have, you didn't have. You give what you can, and we take one offering, and that's it. If we don't make the goal, we'll try maybe once again, but we're not begging the people until 2 or 3 hours in the offering just until we get the money that we need. No, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next. Okay, we have another service coming up. Maybe next week, when maybe people get paid once a month or bi-weekly or whatever the case may be, every 3 weeks. Maybe we'll try again. Maybe during tax season, we'll take up a special offering because we know people got money. But me seeing that, and like I said, when they were up here rather, and like they would do that, and come on, we need $100 more. Okay, we need $40 more. We need $20 more. Okay, come on. If you got to give some of your rent money, now I'm like, I remember one of the elders saying that, and I'm just like, this God is not asking for your rent money. So those are some of the things, of the reasons why I decided not to join. But I still went because I love the church and I love them. Been my help, my enemies were to swallow me up. Hey, oh, been my help. So I still love the church, and I'll give Dupree that. The man's anointed, the organization's full of singers, great musicians. They know how to have church. That was the best holy, and that my organization, We's Church, is down. But that was like that holy convocation, the ones I went to for like 6-7 days. I mean, they church. I will give them that. But some of the other stuff, that's the reason why. So that's my spill for a lot of people that was like, well, you was always going there. You was there every Sunday night. Yeah, that was the place to go. Like I said, my late Aunt Mary and my grandmother and all the other people in my family, when my aunt and all of them moved up here, it was good to go. It was good to be around family and church. You couldn't beat that. I love being around that family in that time. So yeah, of course I went. Everybody and their mama went on Sunday nights, especially when Dupree was up here. That's where you went Sunday nights. I would go to my evening service, and then after that evening service, I would go to, that would be like 3 or 4 services a Sunday. But anybody like, oh, Jermaine, you used to rock and da-da. Yeah, of course. I never said I didn't. I got videos to prove that I've been in the services. But the joining, I didn't join because of those things. And like I said, to the cousin and to the uncle of that cousin, which they're both cousins of Dupree, that tried to tell me to shut up and mind my business. We're not going to act like there was no conversations up in my house when we all used to talk and date and do stuff. years ago, and then tell me to shut up now. It's just a no-no. So that's pretty much my spill on all of it. I don't really want to have to deal with this again unless more victims come forward or if they want to be interviewed or anything like that. I'm done with it. My prayers go out to all the victims. My prayers go out to all the Solid Rock people that were affected by it. It's a great organization as a whole. Just some stuff went down. Prayerfully, God restores, makes whole, makes new. There can be some forgiveness and some reconciliation, all those different things. But if you make negative comments about me or about other people in the videos, I will either delete them or I will respond and I will clap back. And that's my spill for it today. So thank you all for tuning in and let me vent, let me get it out. Let me say my bid, my piece. If they get disrespectful, I will say the names of the cousins and the uncle, but their names are under the videos. If you watch them carefully, you'll see. And I will come back again and say some more names. But other than that, thank you all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure always. Until the next time, this has been another episode of Maine-Chat. This is Maine-Chat. Until we meet again, peace.